clothes. One of its key ways we stay clothes. Fixed on the wall of the main office was a large photograph of an object known as the Calvin UFO, which was taken near Calvin, England on August 4, 1990. The original photo has been scanned, but it depicted an 80-foot wedge or diamond-shaped object in the sky being chased away by a Harrier jet. This happened in front of civilian witnesses who took a picture. Using the recollections of people who had seen the actual photos, computer artists later recreated the image, and that was the last anyone heard about the UFO photo. But in 2022, a former British intelligence officer named Greg Lindsay released a scan of what he claimed was the authentic, original Calvin UFO photo. It showed the diamond-shaped object, the Harrier jet, and the fence in the foreground almost exactly matching the artist's rendering on the scene. Lindsay's photo was confirmed by experts to be authentic. So it's real. Oh no. Well, maybe. Probably not. The photo paper was authentic and typical for the 90s. But the originals were supposed to be color photos, and seasons black and white. Also, the exact location of the original Calvin UFO photo was found, and the background didn't match. The tree hills and fields and trees in the background, and there just aren't. As first, say you can't see the background in the photos because it's too foggy. But weather reports say the date the photo was taken was perfectly clear, so whatever Lindsay's photo is, it's not enough to see the originals. But the original photographs were taken by two civilian hikers, and for some strange reason, their identities were classified until the year 2076, and photos to match the crowd developed by the Aurora Project, and there are plenty of witnesses who say that's exactly what the Calvin UFO is. So unless the original photos were found contained tigers, we may never know. Today, these two publishers have a lot of program secret. Part of them will talk, and they're right, people will talk. In fact, they did.
Because Shopify is profits. Last year, Shopify has loved the AI carousel so much, make them pay me to build people just like it beginners. Now, again, it's free for you, right? Shopify is the commission to do it. If you don't keep your store for more than 90 days, I don't even pay. But your store's free, right? And after 90 days, it's still your store. I don't know. Still build the store, build the store, it's yours. Keep products from it, add new products to it, all that good stuff. It's your store. Okay? Not only that, give my courses free. $1,000, $2,000. I can afford to give the courses for free. And again, Shopify needs the software to open up Shopify store. So you get a free store, right? I get a commission from Shopify. Shopify gets the conversions to their platform that's being trained by me. All I have to do is click here right now. I dare you to do it. I dare you to see if it's free. You're going to go to the next page. There's a page. There you go. Review it. How do you start it? Custom needs going to be up with answers for you. It's going to be ready to go. Done for you, all by AI, completely free. The only thing that you have to do is right there is something Shopify follows the like right now. That's what I did. So, pay somebody to build you a store. Or you can just click here. You could go for free. That video is but if you want to get started right now, by the person that's recorded this must be famous. We're hoping to get the courses for free, build your store for free, and you gotta get your there. Then log in, my services, shop by payment.
And according to Bill Sweetman, there's the Air Force's secret test base in southern Nevada called Saint.
The Solar Warden story emerged, several witnesses came. Each claimed to have been a part of the space program. One of these was Mr. Isaacs, the great-granddaughter of President Dwight Eisenhower. She said that at an early age, she was and she was involved in alien species from the archives. Pedro Vaciano was noticeable. He said he was recognized at an early age as an ideal fit for a secret space program. He claimed that he used a teleporter on station to travel to Mars on many occasions. And while on Mars, he engaged in an armed conflict with alien species. And by 2015, other whistleblowers confirmed their involvement, not just in a big secret space program, but specifically in a program called Solar Warden. Corey could say he was removed from his old life in the 1980s. He reverse-aged 20 years and recruited into a secret military program. I'd like to reverse-age 20 years. How do you go about it? Now, Corey could describe a friendly race of blue aliens that were part of this Federation of Aliens. The Federation is trying to help the human race fight off alien invaders, including the reptilian race. Basically, both. Yep.
So most of these unwanted entrances into our solar system, basically,
Said some people part of the secret space program are trying to push full disclosure, trying to force the alien presence into the open by doing flybys of the International Space Station and showing up on photos and videos. But disclosure still hasn't happened, as Solar Warden is virtually unknown to most of the population. So either there's no such thing as solar wards, and our solar system is a far more dangerous place than any of us could possibly
constantly guessing how much stock I'd left, stressing over last minute shortages. Zero, I get accurate sales insights that make real time. Whether I'm in a test or on the go, I can check my numbers from anywhere. No more spreadsheets, no more surprises, just complete visibility. Here's how I know that. Just transfer over.
Maybe. Some of it. Karen McKinnon is certainly a real person. He says he doesn't know anything about Solar Warden or anyone he got associated with it. He never saw the name on any document or image that he accessed. It seems that the article by Darren Perks in 2012 is what connected Gary to the Solar Warden mythology. And it's easy to understand the connection. The picture of the ship McKinnon saw sounds a lot like the carrier platforms in Solar Warden stories. Even if Aaron can saw a picture of the original, and I think he did, one big space program conspiracy built on the carriers, the fighters, the large crews, and the design of the solar system. These sound like the plots of well-known science fiction books and TV shows. For example, a spaceship, moon bases, and fighters that monitor the solar system. Since the there's human spirits and pantsuits and pebble leaves. That's fun. Dimensional short skills. You did? These rich shows really, it's such a good deal. I always like the step out of it. The show also featured Sid, the space intruder detector. Its job to scan the Earth space for alien intruders, just like the solar port. And some of the eyewitnesses, like Gordon Cudder, have been exposed as frauds. He was forced to testify under oath that he made the whole thing up, especially the part about the blue aliens helping to protect the Earth. Well, maybe he made that part. But visit me and never leave me. This is Russiano, maybe television, stories, every science fiction drama you can think of. Time travel, teleportation, single point energy, and the list goes on. Now, I'm not saying you're lying, but I am saying they both tell very convoluted stories.
Yo, what up?
Is Eric McKinnon's personal testimony. But unfortunately, that's all we have, his word. Now think of the logistics involved in something like school. In order for it to work, every nation on Earth has to be involved. Russia, China, the U.S., nearly every individual country has any other country launches a rocket of any kind. You couldn't put a fleet's worth of equipment into space without somebody noticing. You'd also get the consequences. On a fleet. You're a livestock in space, and they grow vegetables with hydroponics. You know about hydroponics. It does exist. Nation on Earth is together. It's usually a nice thought. Unfortunately, that common goal now that's terrifying. It's real. When I think about its purpose, I really hope it is. Thank you so much for hanging out with us today. My name is AJ. That's Hecklish. This has been Watt Files. Have you had fun or learned anything? Like, subscribe, comment, and share. That stuff really makes Hecklish happy. Like one comment and go to the channel. Today's was recommended by you. And if there's a story you'd like to see or learn more about, go to wattfiles.com. It's our patrons who make this channel possible, especially this one. It's a lot of fun and it's fun. If you'd like to support the channel, please remember our Patreon or press something for the Watt Files store. The channel is supposed to be months, completely 100% digital. That's true. Until next time, be safe, be kind, and know that you are appreciated.
Joe Ken, welcome to the show, man. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it. My pleasure. My pleasure. You popped up on my radar, and I started digging in on you a little bit. That's such a impressive career, and you've been through so much. There's so many things we need to talk about this on this podcast, but primarily, you know, wife's story, and I'm very much looking forward to that. Very classic. It's going to be heavy here. And so, you know, just like we're talking about, this is your interview. I want to get obsessed with my story, interview, whatever it is. That's my life. So, it's you run your office. Okay, so, a very well-rounded interview. But I'm going to go ahead and introduce you real quick. Hope you don't mind. But, Joe, you've already 20-year veteran of Special Forces. It's also you're a widower raising your two young sons in Washington State and married your wife Heather Kaiser. You served as a foreign policy advisor to the former President Trump. You also served as a project manager for a tech company, retiring by your military pension in January of 2023. So fully your campaign, your candidacy for U.S. Congress is focused on restoring common sense, Republican values, and defeating the woke extremist Democrat Congresswoman Marie Perez. And you are the author of Send Me Thank you. I'm sure I'm missing a lot, but that's great. But, like, so, before we move on, everybody gets and yeses. Oh, it's not true. It's a cheat. That's awesome. I'll come back at the end. I'm excited. Legal in all 50 states, although that doesn't matter because, you know, pretty much everything's legal in Washington. This is a piece of yeah. I'll give you more for your kids. But, anyways, you know, like I said, I am interested in why did you decide to
Unfortunately, you don't make eject buttons for email threads, but there is loop. Between 4 views for messages. This will be your messages every time you use AI. Now, instead of repeating yourself, you can record that great idea once and share it forever. Meetings, mountains, or team forward. All you have to do is get recorded. Try it for free today.
Short answer is 2040. I mean, the rest of the year under the channel field, I transitioned out of the organization to get shot at for a living. And politics and comments really paid attention to this politics. I always wanted to be folks know more policy just for the last line of work. Where it goes, but coming home to the city and the area that I grew up in, and just see what happened during 2020, and see what happened during COVID shocked me. The way that people were just rights to the government, that shocked me. And then the riots, I was living actually just to the south of Fort Oregon. Riots happen every public place. I'm pretty close to where my parents are, just to get my kids closer to my family. And thinking it was still Portland of the 80s and 90s that I grew up in, but watching the riots just ravage downtown Portland. France, it was just the people who should have known better were saying that, oh no, this is probably just, this is about civil rights, this is about racism. And I was pretty quick on. I was like, that's not all this. Because for those of us who've been overseas and been in most environments, it has a feeling. And that's very much the way it felt. There's unchecked violence is taking place right now. The law and order has broken down. It's violent and aggressive, and it was organized and willing to use that violence and aggression. And that's exactly what I saw for all of 2020. You can kind of get into the backstory a little bit, but I already kind of separate story we can get into. But then in the conservative district that I moved to just across the river, my knowledge is after January 6th. And I was mad at her with that because she's a Republican. The active in the community who were saying, hey, we're very mad. We're going to censure her. We're going to write her in a letter. And I was just like, okay, well, who's stepping forward to actually primary her? Because that's the mechanism. If you're not happy with your elected official, you should run against them or you should support another candidate, especially in the primary. It's really key. A lot of people skip the primaries. But that's how we enforce discipline in our own ranks, is primary people. And I was really disappointed to see that people were stepping forward. And I had self-reflections based on our background in the military. If you're looking around to see who's in charge, well, congratulations to you. It has its orders attacked. So I just said, you know what, I'm at least going to run. At least ultimately prevailed in the primary. General didn't go, so it didn't go as planned. But we were really close, less than a percentage point in general. So here I am again, running for Congress.
Why did you, and a lot of people are interested in why you decided to run for Congress rather than for the local spot? Because, I think a lot of people are starting to think that the federal government is just it's lost, it's gone, and people see it's very more election, etc. And all this is I'm just curious, did you consider running for local?
I did. I had never really considered running for office until I voted for my congressman, voted for Trust Patriot. She had a couple of back in the state, but it's not very but I assumed that somebody else, especially after she did something that was so against the will of her voters, I assumed that somebody else, maybe that was already in local office, that already kind of had a name for themselves, that was like a machine built up, that they would step forward. And so just seeing nobody step forward, that's why I'm running for that position in particular. I think my experience, though, in the military community, that's best served at the federal level. Because the way that the federal government is ran off the reins, especially the way they spend so much of our money on foreign wars, we see this all the time. You get representatives in the House, the Senate, who have no background in national security. It's like what I'm restrained for. They get brought in this exactly what the military industrial complex, the foreign machinery wants. Whereas I think if you have more people, it's like, okay, what is this information? Hundreds of billions of dollars every year to Ukraine. Start allocating a lot more resources towards the American people.
especially in our lifetime post 9/11. Security as for the but I think it's hard to get support from that. Just to understand exactly how fucking scam
Yeah, that's what they have more than think about. But to have guys in there that understand it, that is helpful. It's not so for clarifying it. A lot of work is on that, of course, in the back end of the interview. But for now, let's keep it about.
So I was actually born in a little town called South It's born right here. So I was the first kid they had. They decided to go do an adventurous and been happy at home with a midwife. You know, but then after that, I went to school, got into law school. This is my first couple years here at UG. But then by the time I was 5, in Portland. So I remember being up in Portland.
What were you into?
So pretty much anything outdoors, anything that was related to like the military outdoor adventures. I was actually lucky my area had a great Boy Scout community, so I was really heavily involved in Boy Scouts pretty much until the time.
You know, they just changed the name of the Boy Scouts, which breaks my heart. It's very very cool. What did they change it?
They just dropped. I think it's just Scouts now. Or something like that. They've had some hard years. Like they're not what they used to be, unfortunately. And yeah, it's sad because that was the institution where these seniors stuff talk to. They were going to be their environment. Always for one. You know, that's how my experience in Scout Master. It's the jail. Just it makes stuff like minds. It's like you know, maybe at the end of the weekend, we should be concerned. You know, you guys.